This is a story of how I lost all of my money on El Camino de Santiago and have an actual real-life angel brought it back to me. My name is Artur and you're watching Pilgrim Stories. So this story is from my first El Camino in 2016, almost 10 years ago. It was like a day 16th, I think, somewhere in the middle of El Camino. I was doing the French way, so from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Santiago, and after that to Finisterre. That day I got up really late, I think I left Albergue at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was a quite slow day. I was already used to walking and my body was adapted already, but it was like a very lazy day. So back then I was walking with my backpack and with my fanny pack. And I was carrying in my fanny pack like a plastic bag where I was keeping my credential. Another thing that was there was all of my money for El Camino. And it was like the mid of Camino, so there was like 300 euros in there. And how I was managing my money back then, I was taking 20 euro bills and putting them into my wallet. So I wouldn't spend more than 20 euros a day. So I had like 20 euros in my wallet and 300 euros in my plastic bag. When I reached the hotel and when I was starting to look for my credential and everything, and I felt that, hey, my fanny pack is way more lighter than it should be. And I look and trying not to swear, but there was no plastic bag in there, and I was starting to panic. Like, there was money in there, there was those albergue list, there was my ID card, and luckily my passport was in my backpack, like deep down in my backpack. All of my money that I needed to get to the end of the Camino was lost, and I started to walk back, and it was getting dark. So when I walked back and trying to find it, but it was already dark, and I actually didn't have any idea where I could have lost it. So it was like a very desperate thing to do, just like go all the way and trying to find it. Luckily I had my 20 euros, luckily I had my passport, luckily for the private hotel they didn't need El Camino credential. So I got myself a bed and was trying to figure out what to do. I wrote all of my friends, they quickly managed to send me a couple hundred euros so I could actually finish the way. The next morning I was trying to figure out where I was walking yesterday and retrace my steps, and at some point a car stopped by me. There was a young lady and she asked me if I want to go for a dinner. And it was in the morning, so it was a very weird proposal to do. Back then I experienced a lot of situations where the locals were coming to you and giving you vouchers and asking if you want to have a dinner or a lunch or breakfast, and giving advertising like where you could actually eat in the town or in the city or in the village. So it was nothing new to me, and that was the first thing that I thought, that she's offering me a dinner, and I was like, well, it's not the right time, I actually can't afford it, I'm retracing my steps. And she was speaking in Spanish with me, and I still, after 4 Caminos, don't know Spanish very well, like just the basics. Dos camas, por favor. So, and I was walking this little trail, trying to find something, and I noticed some papers that looks like mine, and I was like, yeah, this is mine stuff. Like, I don't remember, some kind of pictures that I have picked on the way. Or some kind of like souvenirs, and they're all soaked because it was raining during the night. So it's like all soaked, but it's like these breadcrumbs, right? You're like, oh, that's mine, and you're like finding your belongings, and it gives you hope, right? Suddenly I can hear someone shouting, and I turn my back and I look that there is this lady that came to me before with the car asking me for dinner. And she's running to me, shouting and shaking her hand. And in her hand, there is my plastic bag. And she's running to me, all stressed out, and I'm all stressed out. And she ran to me and she asked me, like, is it me in the picture? And she's holding my ID card. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And she wanted me to prove to her that that's actually me. And luckily in my backpack I had my passport, so I pulled it out, I gave it to her. She looked at it and she was like, yep, that's you. And she gave all my belongings back with that albergue list, my ID card, some souvenirs that I still had in the plastic bag, and also all of my money. And I was so thankful for this. And I was trying to take out some money and giving to her. And she said, no gracias, buen camino. And she just went away. It was such a moment of El Camino Provide. When I reached Finisterre, the money that was in the plastic bag, it was enough to get me to Finisterre. But the money that my friends sent to me, it was actually the money that got me back home. Without that, I wouldn't be able to make it. There are so many lessons for me in this situation, and so many proofs of how El Camino provides to pilgrims. Even if you can't see the big picture at the point where you are standing and experiencing it all, but it was amazing. And I still remember this woman and her good heart to actually find something very valuable. And of course she could see that it's a pilgrim stuff, there's credential in there, money in there, like, of course. And she actually were trying to find the owner of it, and she came to me. And here's the fun part about it. Why I thought that she was asking me for the dinner, right? So she said dinero, and I didn't know Spanish that well back then. Now I know that dinero doesn't mean dinner, it means money. And she was asking me if I'm looking for the money, not asking me for the dinner. So yeah, here's another lesson that you need to learn yourself some Spanish. So you actually, when the angel, real life angel, comes to you and El Camino is trying to give back your belongings to you, you need that Spanish to understand that it is happening. So yeah, this is the story of how I lost all of my money on El Camino, and have an actual real life angel came to me and brought it all back. And one of my first true stories of how El Camino provides to you. But there are so many of them, and if you're watching this and you have done El Camino yourself and you have your own story of how El Camino have provided for you, at some point please share it in the comments. I would be really glad to read this, because these kind of stories of how El Camino provides reminds me of how this place and this, not just a regular hiking trail, is a very special thing in this world. Subscribe, like, and I will see you here on other pilgrim stories from my experiences that I have experienced or have seen that others experience on El Camino de Santiago. So yeah, like, subscribe, and see you on the way.